is 5 o'clock. Just wanted to welcome everyone to tonight's regular meeting. Mayor McMillan sends her regrets. She's not able to make the meeting tonight. And we have Councillor Heeman is present and Councillor Crockett, and then Councillor Lockie is joining us virtually. Okay, I'm calling this meeting to order. Are there any additions to the agenda?
There are no additions.
Great, thank you. I'll need a motion to approve the agenda for this evening, please. Councillor Heeman, Councillor Crockett, all in favor? That's carried. Any disclosure of pecuniary interests? Seeing none. Any announcements anyone wants to make? Nope. Okay. No presentations or delegations, which leads us into public meetings for planning. And I need a motion to adjourn council and move into public meetings pursuant to the Planning Act. Mover, please. Councillor Crockett, seconded by Councillor Heeman. All in favor? And that is at 5:01 p.m. And that's carried. Thank you. The first item on the agenda is consent application B1824 and zoning bylaw amendment application Z2124. Adam Chapesky and Henry Chapesky are the applicants, and Stuart Finlater is the agent for the application. And the property location is at 21005 Fairview Road. I'm going to have our planner, Aaron, give an overview of the application, please. Welcome, Aaron.
For you, Deputy Mayor. So the first application before the committee, I guess tonight, or is it in the council? In the council this evening, is again, it's for a surplus farm dwelling severance. So the purpose of this application is to sever a parcel of land to dispose of a resident's surplus to a farming operation as a result of a pending farm consolidation. The purpose of the zoning amendment that is before you this evening is to go along with that severance, which is fairly standard in the municipality. The subject property itself is 10 hectares or 25 acres situated on the west side of Fairview Road. The farm contains a single detached dwelling, which has private servicing, as well as 2 storage sheds, and a Quonset hut. The remainder of the lands are primarily used for field crop cultivation. The Thames Center official plan and zoning bylaw state that the lands are designated agricultural and zoned agricultural and environmental protection. I do want to note that the environmental protection zone is not proposed to be amended this evening, just the agricultural zone. The lands to be severed would have a frontage of approximately 128 meters along Fairview Road and a size of 1.2 hectares or 3 acres. This would contain all of the structures that I listed earlier. The house is serviced again with private well and septic and has an existing access off of Fairview. The boundaries of the proposed severed lot appear to be delineated based on the existing tree lines, both north and west of the single detached dwelling. The lands to be retained would be the remnant farm parcel. They'd have a frontage of approximately 34 meters along Fairview Road and an area of approximately 8.9 hectares or 22 acres. The lands are vacant of buildings and structures. However, it does contain a small significant woodland that is where the EP zone is as well. So the provincial policy statement, county official plan, and local official plan generally permit lot creation for these types of severances subject to a list of criteria. The dwelling is habitable and was constructed in 1974. The purchaser's home farm is located within the municipality, and they own and operate at least 4 farms, totaling approximately 103 hectares. I am satisfied that most of the criteria has been met to allow for the surplus farm dwelling severance. However, I do note that the requested size of 1.2 acres, in my opinion, appears to be larger than what is necessary to accommodate the septic system and well, which is located in close proximity to the existing house. The policy framework states that the proposed lot should be kept to a minimum size to accommodate the house, private servicing, any sort of accessory buildings that are residential in nature, and to retain as much land and agricultural production as possible. So my recommendation this evening with my list of conditions does include a recommendation to reduce this size, bringing the, this is my recommended plan, So the requested permission, the southern lot line would go all the way to the most southerly line of the existing lot. However, am recommending that it be brought up just to the other side of the tree line that is existing, keeping in line with how the other lot lines have been delineated for this property, and then reduce the residential lot by approximately 0.35 hectares or 0.87 acres. The lands to be severed, which would contain, the lands to be severed, which would contain the single detached dwelling, 2 sheds and Quonset would comply with the undersized lot provisions of the agricultural zone, and to prohibit any new residential use on the balance of the farmland, and to be consistent with policies, both provincially and local. A site-specific agricultural A-45 zone is being requested for the lands to be severed, apart again from the lands that are currently zoned environmental protection, and these are to be unchanged. So based on the foregoing, if the residential lot is amended, the subject applications are consistent with the PPS, county, and local official plans. I have also provided, in addition to the recommended list of conditions that does include the reduction in size, I have listed a list that does not have that recommendation in it. The application was circulated as per the requirements of the Planning Act. I did receive standard comments in relation to a surplus farm dwelling severance. For example, from the Director of Public Works, an entrance permit will be submitted for a separate field entrance if one does not already exist, and several items from the Chief Building Official, primarily related to having a survey plan drawn up. So no other comments have been received by the public. So my recommendation this evening is approval with the 11 listed conditions. Thank you.
Thank you, Erin. Does the applicant or the agent have any additional comments they wish to make?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor and council members, for the opportunity to speak before you tonight. While I agree with most of Erin's report, again, the provincial policy it's my opinion that this application as applied for is consistent with the provincial policy statement and complies with both the county and the Thames Center official plan with the original southerly lot line. Erin indicated that it appears that the boundaries along the north and the west side have been drawn to coincide with the tree lines, and that is correct. But the westerly tree line, if people have gone out and looked at it now extends all the way down to that south property. So where this red block is on this drawing, that's along the west property line. There's a mature row of trees all the way down there. So that little area is physically cut off from the rest of the farm. And in fact, they've planted some maple trees in that little strip there. So it's not farmland now, hasn't been for quite a while, and has been used as yard area for that dwelling for quite a number of years. Adam Chapesky, who lives there, I met with him and Mr. Flutter, who's the person that's buying the property for the farmland. I met with them on Saturday out there, and although it's quite snowy, you can see the tree line is extended all the way down to the south. So that little area is no longer farmed, and I don't know how long those trees have been there, but they're not small trees along the western parkland all the way down to the south. So, it's a very small area. Adam, who lives there, indicates that it's a wet area to begin with. They were looking at having gardens and things there, but it just didn't work with how wet it was. And Mr. Flutter would like to say a few words when I'm done talking about, as a farmer, trying to utilize that small an area, maybe 30 odd meters, 25 meters wide to the property line, but the existing mature trees extend well out into that on both the north tree line and the south tree line. So it's not a very big area at all. I just don't see why that would be included with the remaining farmland. Mr. Flutter is going to indicate to you he would not be in a position to farm it, given where the location of the well is for that house, how close it is to that proposed property line, how far he has to be away based on normal farm practices if he was going to use that little strip for farming as far as spreading, fertilizers and things like that. So I support the support of approving this, but I would ask council to support the original application as applied for. And there's no farmland being taken out of production. It's not affecting that farmland in any way. And to me, that land is better suited staying with the house than the farmland that Mr. Fluter will indicate to you, sorry, Flutter, that he's not going to farm it, even if it's left. So that's my comments. And if there's any questions from council, I'd be pleased to answer them. And as I said, Deputy Mayor, I think Mr. Fluter would like to say a few words if he had.
Yeah, that's fine. So, yeah, thank you, Mr. Finlater. Yeah, so I was going to open it up to members of the public if they wanted to say anything. So if at this time, if you want to approach the podium and provide any comments from the public. We don't have anyone online, do we, Sarah? Okay, great, welcome. And if you can just give us again your name and your address for the record, please.
Gary Flutter,
Okay.
live on Fairview Road. And
What number? Sorry.
anyways, that 21286 Fairview Road.
Okay, thank you.
And anyways, the original looks good to me. There is a tree line, mature trees along all the way across, even though on the Google Maps, the old map does not show it, but there is trees there now. And there's trees even in the middle of the property. And anyways, also, it'll be very difficult to farm that small area. And also, the south part of those trees, they're all mature and tall. It's actually shaded that whole area anyways. That's why it's always wet. So it's not good farmland. And also, the well is pretty close to the borderline for good farming practices. The well should be within good reasonable distance, and you don't want any contamination from agriculture like a 6-inch rain that can contaminate the well. So the way the land slopes and everything, it's best the way to leave it the way it is. And as you can see in the picture, it never was farmed.
Thank you, Mr. Flair.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the gallery have any comments to make? Okay, seeing none. Questions from members of council, please.
There you go. Thank you. Yes, I appreciate hearing from the applicant and from Gary about the situation on the ground. And I think that, modern farming implements are much wider than they used to be. And again, I think we all want to take people's personal water supply very seriously. So for that reason, I'd be in favor of approving the recommendations minus the third point, as including the 10 remaining conditions.
So just to clarify, you're looking at moving the amendment that's in the staff report to allow the original application and the dimensions with that property? Okay, thank you. Any questions from? Seconder for that motion? So proper. Again, the motion is to approve based on the as provided for the amended. Sorry, Councilor Waki?
Yeah. Sorry, Deputy Mayor. Would you mind just speaking a little bit louder into the microphone? I have a hard time hearing. Thank you.
Sure, happy to.
That's better. Thank you.
That better? Okay, thank you.
Perfect.
So the motion on the table is moved and seconded to approve the consent application as originally provided by the applicant. So it's notwithstanding the planner's recommendation. And it's also provided for in the staff report. So it's the amendment basically that we're moving with those conditions. Does everyone understand what the motion is then? Okay, all in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Okay, so that deals with the consent application. Now we'll take a look at the zoning.
I would move the staff recommendation.
And that's to approve the zoning application. Okay. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Crockett. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Okay. Applications are approved. Thank you. Okay. So the next item is zoning bylaw amendment application 71824, Brandham Excavating Incorporated. And the applicant is Jeff Fisher, or the applicant is Brandham Excavating, but the agent is Jeff Fisher. And the property location is 428 Richmond Street. So I'm going to have the planner provide an overview of the application, please.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. Through you. So the purpose of this next application is to rezone the subject property from the agricultural A zone to a site-specific agricultural A zone to permit an additional residential unit, also known as an ARU, which is otherwise not permitted in the zoning. The subject property is roughly 40 hectares or 99 acres in size. It is situated on the northeast corner of Richmond Street and Trafalgar Street. The lands contain a single detached dwelling with a floor area of approximately 455 square meters, serviced by well and septic system, and there's an existing gazebo as well. Access to the lands is available off Richmond Street as well as Trafalgar. So the applicant is looking to construct an ARU within a new accessory building in the form of a shop. The shop is to be located east of the existing dwelling. It's proposed to have a floor area of approximately 430 square meters, of which the ARU would take up roughly 19% of that, which would be 81.5 square meters in size. This would be, again, roughly 50% of the size of the primary dwelling. The current zoning, again, does not permit an ARU, hence why we are going through this process. The lands are designated extractive industrial according to our official plan. The applicant has advised that the lands were previously used for an aggregate extraction operation. And although the license was surrendered prior to the applicant purchasing the property, that designation does remain for better or worse. The lands are zoned agricultural according to the zoning bylaw. The PPS provides policy direction to encourage a range of housing types, including ARUs. As we know, there's been a lot of changes from the province in the last couple of years in relation to these types of secondary units. So certainly all of our policy documents at the provincial level and the county level have been updated to reflect those policies. Again, the county plan indicates that outside of a settlement area, ARUs are supposed to be grouped with the primary dwelling. The intent of that is really so that you don't have something that becomes severable in the future. You know, as of right now, under the county official plan, the surplus farm dwelling severance policies just require 10 years for a house. So if we're allowing ARUs on the other side of farms, you know, in 10 years, we could have quite a bit of housing lot creation that we see. In addition to grouping with the primary dwelling, the minimum distance separation formula must also be met, as well as in our policies right now, we do have it specifically saying that they will not be severable. And although the designation of the land is an extractive industrial, this is a remnant designation. It does not reflect what is currently on the ground right now, which is it's just used for agricultural as well as the residential house. There is wording in the designation that speaks to allowing existing uses on the property. So staff have taken the interpretation that as residential is a permitted use, a second unit would therefore be permitted. And the Thames Center official plan provides policy direction to allow ARUs in the agricultural area, provided they are capable of being appropriately serviced. The official plan also notes that any regulation concerning ARUs shall limit their size to ensure it remains clearly secondary to the primary dwelling unit and in compliance with the Ontario Building Code. So those matters are more appropriately addressed at the local building permit level. The criteria under the official plan for approvals of zoning bylaw amendments have been evaluated in more detail in the report. I do want to speak to, the service, soil and drainage conditions are satisfied. Services and utilities can adequately accommodate this use. The road system is adequate. And adequate measures will be also taken to alleviate this use on any surrounding agriculture, as well as natural heritage features that may be on the site. The application was circulated as per the requirements of the Planning Act. The Director of Public Works advised that an entrance permit will be required. The entrance driveway shall be installed in accordance with Thames Center engineering design specifications. And the Chief Building Official also provided some comments primarily in relation to servicing. So my recommendation on the application this evening is approval, and I have drafted an implementing bylaw for your consideration this evening. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much, Erin. Is the applicant or agent in the room? Yep, you can come to the podium, please. Did you want to provide some additional information?
I have nothing to add, but I'm here to answer questions.
Thank you. Do we have anyone in the public gallery that wishes to speak to the application? And no one online, Sarah? Okay. So we'll go to council. Do you have any questions at all regarding the application? Councilor Crockett?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I don't necessarily have a question. I just want to say that this application has come in very timely. If you see the motion later on in the agenda, that speaks to ARUs and just the clarity of having them come forward in the County of Middlesex. So the process is a bit more streamlined. There's lots of caveats between local, county, and provincial. So look forward to seeing this come to fruition.
Great, thank you, Councilor Crockett. Any other comments or questions? Okay, seeing none, we will close the public meeting. And there is a recommendation, as the plan indicated, with respect to the application. Just wanting to see what council would like to do. Councilor Crockett?
I'd be good to move the recommended motion.
The recommended motion is to approve the zoning bylaw amendment to rezone the subject property from agricultural zone to a site-specific agricultural zone to permit an additional residential unit or ARU as a permitted use in addition to all other uses permitted in the parent agricultural A zone for these lands. Seconded by Councilor Heeman. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. It's approved. Okay, the third item is zoning bylaw amendment application Z1924 for Shogun Mataki Odera Enterprises Limited, and the who is the applicant, and Stuart Finlater is the agent for the application for the lands located at 4823 Dundas Street. Erin, I'll have you provide an overview of the application, please.
Thank you again, Deputy Mayor, through you. The purpose of this application is to permit a personal service establishment and a retail store as additional permitted uses under the existing site-specific agricultural commercial AGC-1 zone. The subject lands are approximately 16 hectares or 40 acres in size. They're located on the south side of Dundas Street, which is Highway 2, west of Richmond Street. The lands contain a single detached dwelling, a barn, and a commercial building. The lands are serviced with private well and septic system. The lands under the official plan are designated agricultural, and they again are zoned a site-specific agricultural commercial zone, which allows for a range of uses, including agricultural related commercial uses, a veterinary clinic, and a truck terminal. The applicant is requesting to permit personal service establishment and retail store, as there has been an agreement that has been made between the current landowner and an interested tenant who is seeking to establish a hair salon as well as a retail store within the existing commercial building. The property has, or this structure previously had contained a small cafe and an antique gift shop. So the application also indicates that the subject lands are used for agricultural purposes. According to aerial photography for the county and Thames Center, the property has historically been used for this purpose in the form of field crop cultivation. So in prime agricultural areas, we are permitted to have 3 activities under the PPS. So that is agricultural uses, agriculturally related uses, as well as what we call OFDUs, which are on-farm diversified uses. So this allows farmers to diversify, have additional uses on their property, so they're not strictly subject to just the agricultural uses. They do have criteria under the permitted uses guidelines in the prime agricultural area, which is a document provided by the province. OFDUs have specific criteria in terms of size, keeping them located on farms, keeping them so that they don't impact the agricultural uses that are on the property, and then ensuring that they don't impact surrounding agricultural as well. So the report that has been provided by the planner takes a more in-depth look at what these criteria are and gives some analysis of those. Located on a farm, secondary in the principle to the agricultural use of this property, limited in scope, as the proposed personal service establishment and retail store are to be located completely within the commercial building. And based on information from the mapping system, staff have determined that the commercial building is approximately 204 square meters in size, which is under the 2% lot area that the OFDUs are sort of the cap size at. And this includes also the parking area for that building as well. So we are satisfied that the limited in area scope has been addressed. As well, compatible with and not hindering surrounding agricultural operations. The report also speaks to the criteria that are required for an approval of an amendment under the official plan. Those have been outlined in the report as well, and we are satisfied that they have been met, speaking to appropriate servicing, road access, and that sort of thing. Additionally, adequate measures will be taken to alleviate or prevent any adverse effects that the proposed use may have on proposed or existing adjacent uses or on natural heritage features. So we are of the opinion that a retail store and personal service establishment in the form of a hair salon is no more impactful than the other permitted uses that are on the site. Specifically looking at a truck terminal, for example, the traffic generated from that use is far more onerous than we would expect these 2 uses to be. So that sort of goes into our analysis of the application. The application was circulated as per the requirements of the Planning Act, and I did not receive any concerns or comments from agencies, departments, or the public. So my recommendation this evening is approval, and an implementing bylaw has been drafted for council.
Great, thanks, Erin, for that. The agent is here. Do you have any additional comments you'd like to make? Thank you. Okay. Any public gallery? Nope, no one online either. Okay. Members of council, do you have any questions? And if not, I am looking for some direction. Oh, sorry, Councillor Lockie. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, to the deputy mayor, I just wanted to say it's nice to see a good make the motion.
Okay, so you're making the motion to approve the staff recommendation?
I am, yes.
Okay, great. And the recommendation is to allow the personal service establishment and retail store as additional permitted uses under the existing site-specific agricultural commercial zone for these lands. And do I have a seconder for that? Councillor Crockett? All in favor? And that is carried. That's great. Thank you. And I should mention too that the implementing bylaw will be introduced later in the meeting. Okay. I now need a motion to close public meetings at 5:30. Moved by Councillor Lockie, second by Councillor Heeman. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Okay, number 8 is that was at 5:30. Okay. The next item is the approval of previous minutes. You're moving, Councillor Heeman? Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Lockie. Thank you. Any comments or questions on that before we vote on it? All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Okay, number 9 is the consent agenda. So items listed under the consent agenda are received for information in one motion. Council members may request that one or more items be separated for further action. Councillor Heeman?
Yes, if we could separate item 9.1, I'd just like to speak to that.
Okay, 9.1 is separated. Any other items to be separated? No. So then we'll deal with, let's deal with 9.2 and 9.3 to receive. Moved by Councillor Crockett, seconded by Councillor Lockie. All in favor? That's carried. Okay. Councillor Heeman, you go ahead with 9.1, please.
I just want to applaud the mayor on writing this letter. I think it's something that's been evident for some time, and I know that it's very competitive for funding. So I think that anything we can do to try and win some funding into Thames Center, I think that's a good thing. And I'm not just saying that because my son's registered there.
That's great. Any other comments on that? Okay, if not, will you be moving the motion to receive? Great. Seconded by Councillor Crockett. All in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. Okay. 10, reports of departments. So the first report is the 2024 Drinking Water Systems Annual Report. Welcome.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councilors, before you report PWES 001-25, 2024 Drinking Water Systems Annual Reports provides council with the annual reports that will be made available to the public by February 28th, 2025. Ontario Regulations 170-03 requires municipalities to submit a report on each of their drinking water systems covering the period from January 1st to December 31st and must be prepared no later than February 28th of the following year. As required, the attached Dorchester and Thorndale 2024 annual reports include a brief description of the drinking water systems, including list of chemicals used in the water treatment, a summary of any reports made to the Ministry of or MECP, summary of the tests required under this regulation, a description of any adverse conditions and corrective actions, and finally a description of any major expenses incurred during the reporting period. Also included within the reports are helpful points such as hardness levels of both systems, which are used for settings for personal or private drinking water softeners, natural sodium levels in both systems, and natural fluoride levels in the Thorndale system. It should be noted that a sodium and fluoride fact sheet from the local health unit is always included as an annual insert in the water bills and posted on our website. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Director Craven. Any questions? If not, can I get a motion to report, please? Councillor Lockie, thank you. Seconded by Councillor Heeman. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
We will now move to reports of committees. So items listed under reports of committees are approved by council in one motion, but council members may request that one or more items may be separated for further action. Councillor Crockett?
If I can please pull out 11.2.
Okay. Any other items to be pulled? Okay, so we'll deal with 11.1. How many are there? Just 11.1. So we can get a motion to receive 11.1, please. Councillor Heeman and Councillor Lockie, all in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Go ahead, Councillor Crockett.
Thank you. I just wanted to pull item 11.2 since there's a lot going on within it. As the chair of the Special Events Committee at our last meeting, we set the schedule of events for the year ahead and are excited to have all of our annual events returning this year, including the second year of Corn Fest being scheduled for Saturday, September 6th. In addition to that, I just wanted to point out some potential partnerships with another committee as it was proposed to look into a potential monster walk event, so a Halloween trick or treating for kids with local businesses through the Economic Development Advisory Committee. So looking forward to see how that follows through. Otherwise, we're looking forward to an exciting 2025.
Yes, and thanks to the committee for all your hard work. And it's important to have all this ahead of time so we can get those dates into our calendars. Any questions or comments for Councillor Crockett? If not, looking for a motion to receive. Councillor Crockett? Councillor Lockie? All in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. Okay, we have no unfinished business. And we have a couple of notices of motion. Councillor Heeman, did you want to introduce yours?
Sure. Do I need to read it again? No.
It's listed on the agenda. That's
Yeah.
it's fine. And we provided notice of that at last meeting, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Did you want to speak to it or are you going to move it?
Yeah, I'll give I guess a brief motivation. It's come to my attention when during heavier snowfall periods that we may be benefited by having a second unit. And I'd like to look to staff as to what options are available in pursuing this approach. And yeah, I think it would be nice if we were able to start clearing both villages at the same time instead of rotating back and forth. I know we do a good job meeting our minimum maintenance standards. I just think it would be a service to the residents if we were able to start those clearings at both sides or both villages at the same time. Then everyone can see our good work. So thank you.
Thank you. Are you moving the motion? Okay, thank you. Is there a seconder before we get to some comments and questions? Councillor Lockie, seconding it? Okay. Are there any comments and questions with respect to that? Councillor Crockett?
My only comment to this is I want to say that I support staff looking into having two sidewalk plows. It was just the last caveat of looking at presenting budget options in advance of 2025, 2026. Now that we're nearing the end of winter, it may be appropriate to reassess this at budget time just because there will likely be staffing implications as well.
Councillor Heeman?
Yeah, I think that's appropriate, and considering we generally get the heavier snowfall in January and February, I think we might be able to accommodate that without affecting the next snow season.
Okay. So are there changes to that particular resolution? Are you asking for this, as long as this report becomes before the next budget deliberations? Is that what we're looking at then?
Yeah, so if I may make an amendment to the motion with Councillor Lockie's approval, I would amend it to remove or present budget options concurrent with the 2025 or 2026 budget cycle.
Is that okay with staff? Yep. Councillor Lockie, you're good with that amendment?
Yeah. Oh, I'll second that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so with that, moved and seconded as amended, all in favor? And that is carried. Okay, thank you. Councillor Crockett, you have a notice of motion as well.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. So just to preface my motion here, I mentioned a little bit earlier that ARUs or additional residential units is something that Thames Center is getting a lot of inquiries about, primarily in our rural areas. The PPS and the County of Middlesex guidelines seem to be pretty black and white within settlement boundaries and remain a bit gray outside of them. So with that, I propose the following motion. Whereas rural property owners face challenges in understanding the available options for secondary dwellings, including additional residential units or ARUs and severance policies, and whereas there is a need for clear and accessible guidance to support rural residents in sustaining future generations and maintaining family farms, and whereas Middlesex County is undertaking an official plan review, which presents an opportunity to align local policies with broader planning frameworks. Now therefore be it resolved that staff be directed to compile a summary of secondary dwelling options for rural properties, including but not limited to ARUs, severance, and other relevant pathways, and that this summary outline ARU size requirements and permitted range, detail parameters for severance or excess dwelling considerations for farm operations, and align with ongoing work related to the Middlesex County official plan review.
You're moving that resolution?
I'll move it.
Seconded by Councillor Heyman. Any questions, comments before we call the vote on that? Go ahead, Councillor Heyman.
I just think it's a good idea. I know we look forward to the days when these applications don't have to come before council every time, but I think this is a good step in that direction. So thank you.
And the planner's nodding her head back there too. So, all good. Okay, all in favor of that motion? And that is carried. Thank you. Okay, we have no new business requiring direction. It brings us to bylaws. So we have bylaws number 19, 2025 through 21, 2025. Be read a first, second, and third and final time and be adopted. So can I get a mover, please? Councillor Heeman, seconded by Councillor Crockett. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Okay, next item is closed session. So council will now be moving into a closed session for which there'll be no live streaming. The live stream will resume though once the closed session portion has been completed. So I need a resolution from council, please, to go into closed session at 5:42 p.m., please. Pursuant, yes, sorry, for the reasons. Yes, thank you. To consider personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, in order to review the community grant applications. Moved by Councillor Crockett, thank you, and second by Councillor Lockie. All in favor? And that is carried.